Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Colorado's Real Estate Authority. Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb's also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice on Saturdays, and if you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just go ahead and search Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio and all of the others. So, Barb, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, Richard, the first topic is going to be something that I get a lot of questions about from my clients. How does a home seller know what price a buyer is going to pay for the home? And one of the things that's significant is because in real estate, 87% of the real estate agents turn over, get out of the business every 5 years. A majority of real estate agents right now have never seen a market where the prices are correcting a little bit and they don't know what to do. So they'll tell their seller, they'll look back on historic sales and go, oh, your house is worth this much, like this historic sale. And then it sits on the market, doesn't sell. And then they call me, which I'm happy they call me. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about something on the buyer side, some financial do's and don'ts before buying a house. Some of these things may surprise you. And then the third topic is going to be about the top tips to increase the sales price of your home in Colorado. And the very last topic, and I get a lot of questions about this, is why do people prefer a cash offer when selling a house in Colorado? And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, as fewer people bought homes in recent years due to the higher interest rates, how do home sellers accurately determine what their home will sell for here on the Front Range?
Well, a lot of people miss this pricing discussion. I talk to a lot of home sellers every week. Some are currently on the market, some are thinking of going on the market. And our number one question we ask them is, do you have any idea what the home is worth? Many of them will say, oh, Zillow says X, or some will say, I have no idea. So if there isn't any real history online about it, which I do find a lot of properties like that where they're the original owner, I have to go look at it and really give them a good idea. I can get a range based on square footage and some of that kind of data, but until I see the house and its condition, it's hard to make that call about pricing. And you want to make sure that you talk to an agent that really knows how to do this, that they have experience in sales. A majority of real estate agents sell fewer than 4 homes a year. So sometimes if you're getting somebody to come out and price the home and they don't know what homes are selling for or how to really research it, they could guide you the wrong way and your house could sit on the market way too long. Expertise, market knowledge is really important. And then it's best to be open to sell a home at what the current market will pay. It doesn't matter what the seller thinks or what the agent thinks. What matters is what a buyer is willing to pay in this current market right now. Every seller wants the most money for their home. That's just common. But a lot of people think that, well, why can't I just price it high and have some negotiating room? Well, the problem with that is that buyers have a lot of information. It's online. They can look at Zillow. They can see all of the Zillow's estimates of all the homes around it. They can tell right off the bat, just based on looking at one or two little graphics, whether or not the home is worth the asking price. But in general, what they're looking for is, hey, in that price range, what can I get, right? And they're going to gravitate towards going to see the homes that represent the best buy in their price range. Now, interest rates absolutely do have an effect on the buyer's ability to pay. Right now, the rates have zoomed up quite a bit. Even though the Fed lowered the rates, the mortgage rates went up. We're over 7% as of yesterday. So, as soon as we saw interest rates start heading up, for every 1% of interest rate increase, we lose about 10% of the buyer population just because of affordability. Now, even though we have lenders that can give these buyers a buy down on the interest rate, they're just going to hold off on buying until they know they can afford it. So what we saw this summer is an increase in the number of available homes, and that data is holding. There's still a large volume of available homes on the market. It hasn't really dropped, and yet the interest rates are going up. So we've got all this demand, market factor demand destruction going on at the same time. So if you want to attract a buyer, you really have to price the home what I call very, very realistically, especially if interest rates are going up, because the buyers are going to buy a home that they can afford. So when you're a home seller, you need to make sure all of what I call the 4 Ps are done correctly. Preparing the home for sale, picking the right agent, pricing it right, and making sure the promotion is right. Sometimes it's just a promotion or marketing problem. You never know. So we actually offer free reports on our website, barbhasthebuyers.com. You can go on Barb Has the Buyers and click on the green button if you want to download one of those reports. One of them is the top 7 tips to get your house ready for sale for the most money. And or you can just give us a call all over our website. You can put your information in. If you, a lot of people right now, what they're doing is clicking on my calendar link and booking a quick call with me, which I'd love to talk to people. So I'm happy to do that to answer their questions. But if you are selling right now, it's absolutely critical that you price your home very realistically versus the top of the market. It doesn't seem to matter how pretty the house is right now. It's what does the competition look like, and does it look like it's priced right for the area? I'll give you a couple of examples. I just sold a home over in Peyton area in Meridian Ranch. Beautiful home, ranch style home, backs to open space, has a 3-car tandem garage. Really, really nice, had plenty of square footage, but their former agent made the mistake of pricing it way high and then slowly walking the price down. That wasn't the only problem. He also had a marketing problem. So he took his smartphone and took some happy snaps of the home. Never really took professional marketing photos, which there are buyers that will reject houses just based on the photos. You only have less than a minute to make an impression. So if you don't make an impression in the first 6 to 8 photos that are posted online, they are moving on to the next house. And so they had both of those problems. They had a slight pricing problem, not that much, but they also had a bad marketing problem. So the house sat on the market for 120 days. We go on the market, made a very small price correction, but we definitely corrected the marketing. We had 40 people show up at the 1 hour open house, and within 9 days, I had that home under contract. Day 10, so just because I was traveling and all that, day 10, somebody else went to look at the home. I had gone out to notify everybody that had shown when we were negotiating that, if you're interested, make your offer. We're talking to another buyer right now. But they had scheduled it literally minutes after that email went out. Went out the next morning, looked at it, and called me and said, "Hey, we want to make an offer." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I haven't updated the system yet. It just went under contract." I got yelled at by the buyer, by their agent for rug pulling the home. Now, this home had been on the market for now 120 days. It's like, where have they been? And all of a sudden, it's my fault that they were late to the party. So it's crazy stuff. Another one I sold in Indigo Ranch. Again, they made the right decision to get the house ready for sale in advance. They priced it very realistically, and it sold in just 1 day for over asking price. So yes, even in this market, we can get over asking price if all the stars align properly. Condition of a home definitely plays a big part now more than ever. When the market was hot, buyers would forgive a few cosmetic things here and there. But now the buyers want everything. They want a low price. They want the home in great condition. They want to move in and drop their stuff type of home. So many, many times, even though we might have priced the home a little bit lower because maybe the updating is not quite as updated to today's standards, or maybe it needs a little bit of cosmetic work, the feedback I get is, oh, well, it needs too much work. I'm like, but it's 60,000 below market value. You could paint. Really? Give me a break. But anyway, so I just think that there are some agents out there that are showing homes that really don't keep track of what's going on in the market. So they just look at it in a bubble and don't realize, hey, we priced this home low already because it needs a little bit of cosmetic work. They don't check it out. They drag their buyers in there and the buyer's like, whoa, it needs too much work. And they're unable to make this transition to go, yeah, but you would pay 60,000 more for a house in this neighborhood, for the same size home. But it's always better to price realistically. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about how do sellers really know what a buyer's going to pay for the house? And the market's going to give you clues right away. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do to get top dollar when we come back. And if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900. We have over 28,000 buyers just on our website. Plus, we offer cash offers, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, we're talking about how home sellers figure out the accurate home value when they're selling their home. Do home sellers have to rely on those websites like Zillow?
Well, the websites on Zillow are probably right about half the time as far as what the home is worth. So you really, as a home seller, you really need somebody to kind of deep dive and find out, what is it that your home has that a buyer would want to pay for it, right? And sometimes in a shifting market, it can be very deceiving. And probably the best advice I can give to a seller is, if you can be the best home on the block and be priced as the best home on the block, that way you will win. So don't worry too much about that. Typically, when we meet with sellers, we go over the whole thing. We talk about pricing, we talk about condition, and we set them up to win. We know sometimes the asking price is a little bit less than what full market value is, but that's because we don't want to wait the average days on market to get it sold. These people want to sell right away. So that means you have to price very realistically versus optimistically. And we know how to do that. So all you have to do is give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Not only will we present it to our 28,000 buyers, but we also will show up with cash buyers to help you make a decision and have options about whether or not you want to go on the open market or just sell off market and be able to sell it very quickly. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing how to financially prepare to buy a house. Stay tuned for that.